I'd like you to hear these numbers because I think they're important. Tonight we voted for a school board representative. We're all interested in schools. And I've done some research, and one of the main reasons I'm offering this resolution is because I want you to have this information, and I want our constituents to have this information, because when you hear some of the statistics that I give you, you should be shocked. I know I am, and I'm very disappointed. What is the basic education plan? Well, per pupil expenditure is broken up into three parts. You know, we know it's federal, state, and local. The state portion, which the state gives, to all the school districts. I don't know if you know this or not, but Davidson County gets the second lowest amount out of 120 school districts in the state. We get the second lowest amount. And you just heard several of the school board candidates tonight say that we have 70% of our students economically disadvantaged. We have one of the highest ELL populations, students with disabilities, and yet we get the second lowest per pupil funding from the state. Okay, now guess who's above us? Williamson County, whose average income puts them in the top 10 in the country, gets more per pupil for their students than we get. Now I'm told that, they've reworked the formula. Well, I'm telling you, if we allow this to stand without challenging it, then we're not doing our responsibility. We're not representing our constituents if we don't pursue this. Let me give you some other numbers. We're getting $1,500 less than state average per student. If you multiply that by 75,000 students that we have, that's $112 million that our taxpayers are having to overfund our school system. It's not fair to our taxpayers. It's not fair to our children. Okay, part of the BEP formula says that it's based on your ability to collect property taxes. Well, I talked with one of our council members who said that several counties don't even have a property tax. Well, we all know well that we have a property tax, and we're subsidizing those that don't. A formula that gives Williamson counties more than us, and counties that don't even bother to pay a property tax to support their schools like our folks do. It's not fair. We need to investigate this. It's wrong. I'm tired of it. Now, you may not know that 50% of our sales tax that we collect goes to public education to fund our schools. That's by law, but we spend, our taxpayers, and through us, have decided to spend 67% of our sales tax to try to provide a good public education. Well, 17% is not much, but guess what it is? I just asked Mr. Curl to run the numbers. That's $46 million a year, every year, that we're overpaying. Now, when you add those two together, that's $158 million, or basically 10% of our budget that our taxpayers, including you and me, that we're overpaying each and every year. I mean, does that register? I mean, we haven't had a property tax increase in 4 years. If we got what we were supposed to get, we could go another 4 years without a property tax increase. So it's gotten to the point where, to me, it's a little ridiculous. In this resolution, we're asking to meet with the governor, with the Davidson County delegation. I've talked with David Fox, the school board chairman. I've talked with our education chairman. I've talked with administration. I want us to all go over there when they set this meeting, and we need to demand that we get an equitable distribution. Now, they meet in January, so it's going to take a little while. If we want to do preliminary meetings, I'd like to do that. I've asked them to respond with a time, but we need to meet with them. And we need to ask them to do what's right. And if they don't want to do what's right, then we may have to pursue other avenues. But the best way at first, in my opinion, is try to work with all the parties and try to get what's a fair distribution. But when we're getting shortchanged to the tune of $158 million a year, that's over 10% of our budget. That's not right. That would have funded all the positions that we had to lay off. And I ask you to vote for it and continue this fight. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.